Wait, so the option was to go to a rub and tug or get Southie tattoos?
Well, it wasn't. I mean, we could have done whatever we wanted. It's America.
And so we bring you Dirty Old Boston.
We are sitting here right now with Kyle McNally.
Yeah, what's going on? How's it going?
Kyle's an up-and-coming comedian here in Boston. You can catch him around the city. Kyle, you grew up in
South Boston.
So you're a real South Boston kid, huh?
Yeah, real South Boston kid. I grew up in Southie. Still live there in my parents' basement.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about South Boston kind of changing and people like your parents and your family maybe not being there or...
Yeah, I mean, it bothered me a lot more when I was like a 16-year-old like idiot out with my buddies. But
throw rocks at people's windows.
Yeah. We just thought everyone was a yuppie, like anyone we didn't know. We're like this yuppie loser, like. But yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It's.
Well, I mean, I grew up in Somerville, and like it's the same thing.
Yeah,
the same thing.
It's pretty much
nice.
happening.
The houses are worth a lot more money, but
yeah, exactly. The parking's insane now and everything. But I mean, it is what it is. It's.
So, what's the worst thing you ever did, fucking with the yuppie?
I mean, me, nothing like. I mean, plenty of people like would get in fights and stuff growing up. Not really, not me. But I knew kids that like would just fuck with everybody and, like you said, throw shit at people and stuff like that. I mean, we would always
like after school. Would you guys always be getting in trouble throwing shit at cars, things like that?
We used to fuck more with like the people, which is terrible now. Now, like as an adult, I like hate that we did it. But we used to mess with like the pizza places. Like we'd go in there and torture those guys. Like,
what would you do with them?
Oh, people would just go in and like we'd go in there with a bunch of us and just be loud and shit. But people would go in. I remember one kid. He had like a Big Burst, and he threw the Big Burst at like just on top of the soda machine. They had like probably 100 pizza boxes stacked
like the
up
giant. Is that the giant cup at 7-Eleven or something?
It was just like a big like soda jug where you'd have the sodas, and they had like 100 pizza boxes on top. And kids went in and just threw fucking a full Big Burst at it and knocked like 1 million pizza. One time they locked the door and called the police on us when we were like 15, 16. And we were locked inside the pizza place. Yeah. We just had to sit there and wait for the police to come. It was terrible.
Can I get a slice while I wait?
Yeah, they got us that time. They won that one.
All right. That was always a thing for me growing up. It was like, we just call it let's get chased.
Yeah, oh yeah. We used to, I mean.
That's how we would spend our days. Like.
Yeah, I mean, we used to, like, throwing snowballs at cars is, like, to this day, one of, like, the funniest things you can do when you're a kid. But like we'd have random guys would catch you and like body slam you into the snow and like face wash the cars.
Well, what would you do now if a kid hit your car with the snowball?
I'd probably just laugh if it was like out of control and they were like if it was some giant snowball or like I almost crashed or something, I almost got hurt, I'd probably get pretty upset. But I'd laugh at most of that stuff. I laugh at most stuff that I did as a kid because it's just how can you not?
So I had a good friend growing up. His name was Bobby Hardigan. And unfortunately, he passed away from drugs years ago. But he was one of the kids that we would always throw snowballs with.
Yeah.
So then when we were a little older, he was like 18. He got in his car. He had his license. Some kids hit his car with a snowball.
Yeah.
And he was like, I know the deal. Like, I know which way they ran. I know where they're going to be. So he goes around the block. He catches them. He stands them in a line. And he's like, all right, so I got these kids. I knew I was going to punch him in the face. And I was like, how old was he? He was like 12, 13. And I was like, wait a second. He's like, yeah. He's like, I punched him right in the face.
Oh, yeah. See, I think I could laugh. Unless they were like a little punk about it. I don't know. Like, maybe I'd give him a slap. I wouldn't punch him.
I know. I mean, I was like, that's a little extreme.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Obviously, he was an extreme dude. But he's no longer alive.
I remember once I went to meet my buddies. Like, we used to go up the Dorchester Heights in Southie. Like, it's just like a hill with like a big, stupid historic monument. But it's just a hill pretty much. And it's light people up. So I was going to meet, this was like before we had cell phones and everything. I was going to meet my two buddies up there, and I got up there, and some guy was like, had both their faces in the snow, like flipping out on them, like they'd already hit some guy who was pissed off at them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember, I mean, just like, we used to
And what age do you think, you were like 14 when you were doing that, 13, 14?
Oh, yeah, even like 15, 16, like, and then when you're like 17, 18, you might get drunk, and like it's funny to like throw a snowball and run, just like, I was definitely doing
it's
it.
Still funny.
Exactly. I was definitely doing it older than I should be. I probably like would still, if I
Every
was
once
like,
in a while, I think that'd be a good spot.
Yeah, exactly. If I was like leaving like a bar right now with my buddies, I'd probably hit like a bus if I saw it still. Right. Just like out of instinct.
Nostalgia.
Yeah. I still to
that
this,
sound,
like,
I could hear perfectly the sound of the snowball hitting the bus.
I still to this day, like that's the first thing I think of when I like shovel. I'm like, oh, it's good snowball snow. Or if it's not good snowball snow.
Wow. So 15, 16, you're getting into high school. did it start to change a little bit? Like, did you start like, trying to hit on chicks or?
Oh yeah, it's weird for me to think about because like I didn't know any better. Like I grew up like as it was like really like when I was probably 16, 17, like drinking up the park was when it really started to get more and more gentrified and everything. So like I didn't really know any better. You know what I mean? Like for like my parents and stuff, I can't even imagine how different the place is now. But for me,
are they happy about that? Are they like whatever? Are they?
I mean, they don't. I don't think they don't really care. Like they're just like old school people. So like this stuff that happens, it pisses them off and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like they don't like. As long as you're not like an asshole or nothing, you're not going to bother my parents. You know?
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I mean, it's weird, definitely. But like I said, I kind of just grew up in it. Like it was happening. So it kind of is what it is to me.
You remember how old you were the first time you got drunk?
Probably like 8th grade, whatever that is. I was like 8th grade and my
12,
buddy.
13?
No, was that young? I can't be that young, right?
8th grade's 12, 13 years old.
Oh, Jesus. In my head, it was like 15. Oh, man.
Unless you were held back a lot.
No, I wasn't. Oh, man. Maybe it wasn't 8th grade.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I feel like
you start 8th grade at 12.
Yeah, I feel like I
13.
definitely drank like when I was at the school I was at in 8th grade.
Okay.
I feel like I definitely did in my buddy's basement.
Did you ever smoke cigarettes or anything?
When I was young, not anymore. When I was like young, we would smoke like cloves and stupid shit like that. But I didn't. Thank God I don't.
What did you drink the first time in the basement?
The first time it was like my buddy's parents had like the bar in the basement.
Oh,
so
take a little out, put a little water in kind of thing?
Yeah, and so it was pretty much like gross shit that had been sitting there forever. Like, but we didn't know what anything was, so we were taking
Did you get drunk?
I probably acted drunker than I actually got, but I definitely had like a little buzz.
Yeah.
But we didn't know what we were doing, so we were just like, oh, no one drinks that. It sits there forever. So like looking back, we were taking like a shot of like straight scotch because like it'd been sitting there, and it's disgusting. You know what I mean? I still wouldn't like that.
Right.
But yeah, I remember one of my buddies. I wasn't there, but it was like the kid's house we always hung out at when we were young. My buddy Sean. My other friend got drunk when we were like probably that age, like 13, and they didn't know what to do, and they had to like call his parents, and like he had to like rat himself out pretty much because he thought he was like gonna die and everything, and they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, there's always some kid that like has to get his stomach pumped and ruins it for everybody.
That happened with me the first time I smoked a joint with my friends. We were like
Freaked
at
out?
my house, and I totally freaked out.
Yeah.
Killed it for everyone else. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, one of my best friends growing up, the first time he ever smoked a joint, I think he was 13, the kid that he smoked it with, as soon as they finished, turned to him and said, oh, I put crack in that. Which was a lie, he just fucking he ran for like 2 miles to get home, and like he didn't know what to do. He thought he was going to die.
Yeah, I swear when you're like that age, it's like you just like so much more in your own head. You'll like freak out way more than you ever could now.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever smoked like anything, it was like I took like one haul of like a Black and Mild when I was probably like, I was young, probably like 10 or 11. Like I definitely shouldn't have been smoking anything. And this kid who's
10 or 11.
This kid who's gone off the deep end since, he was like the one who had it. Me and him smoked a Black and Mild.
When I was a kid, my brother-in-law, he was my sister's 15 years older than me, and he's like 10 years older than her. So this dude was like very old, and I was a kid. I was probably like 9 years old, and she used to live on the 3rd floor, so I would go up there and try to hang out with them.
Yeah.
And he used to try to give me cigarettes.
Yeah, dude.
And he'd be like, "Come on, like don't be a pussy, just smoke a little bit."
Coincidentally, this story that just popped in my head is the same kid I was talking about who I smoked a Black and Mild with. He was just like the kid. I haven't seen him in years. He was like the kid who like you could do whatever you wanted at his house when we were like way too young to be able to do whatever we wanted.
Were his parents like fucked up, or they just?
They were separated, and his mother worked like a lot and everything, and it was just like a tough. They weren't like his mother was a nice lady, but his father drove us to Spooky World once, and he let us smoke vanilla cloves in his back seat, and we were like 12, 13 years old. I remember like thinking it was cool, and now I look back and I'm like, that's like the least
what a
cool thing.
psychopath.
I would like kill that guy if I was like if that was my kid.
Yeah,
I'd kill him. I'd be like, you let my kid smoke cloves in your car?
I know. There was always that house where it was like you can drink but you can't leave.
Yeah. We just always had like the house where fucking anyone parents left. But that's like, so then when I got older, I was like the idiot who I was always getting caught drinking by my parents when I was like 16, 17.
Would you drink like every weekend after, like once you started getting going?
I used to get grounded all the time because I was an idiot. I'd get caught, I'd get grounded for like a couple of weeks, a month, and then I'd go out, get drunk for like a weekend or two and get caught again. And then by the time I was like 17, going on 18, my parents kind of were like, all right, they realized I wasn't doing anything else. You know what I mean? I was just drinking and I was whatever. But I
Did
used to
you ever
always get
start
drunk.
getting into other stuff like smoking weed?
I
or
smoke
doing
weed,
hard
yeah.
drugs or
I
anything?
still smoke weed. I mean, I've done drugs. I don't do them a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like but I smoke weed. Still.
Well, I mean, I only ask because Southie, Somerville.
Oh no! I mean,
all these-
it's not a crazy
I'm sure
question.
you have dozens of friends.
Yeah,
that-
exactly. It's not a crazy question. I mean, like I've done like coke and Molly and that stuff. You know what I mean? I never got into any of the other thankfully. You know what I mean? I know a lot of kids, but
Yeah, do you know a lot of kids that ended up with opiates and heroin and
just
stuff?
like insane, like kids that like from like I grew up with, or just within like a couple years younger than me to like a couple years older than me. It's like a ton. You know what I mean?
Do you remember what age they showed up? Like I would say for me it was like 14, 15.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, it was all of a sudden like people were taking them and they were around.
Yeah, the thing with Southie, it's like, it's weird because like kids who like I'm good friends with now, who are like, they're like 29 going on 30, I'm 28 going on 29.
Yeah.
But when you're fucking 13 and they're 14 going on 15, they're a whole separate group of friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it was like kids a couple years older than me. I knew we were doing it when I was young. You know what I mean? And then it's like more kids just like, it would just be like it was almost like every group of kids, a few people just started like, it's a crazy thing. But Southie, it was pretty big. It's still pretty big.
Yeah.
But I mean,
can you poke your head in the hall and just see people are a little bit loud out there if even they like slide down?
that's probably Audi. But yeah, definitely a lot of people.
Cool. So far so good. So that's the idea, man. This is just
it's awesome. Yeah.
what Boston was like for us growing up.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, no, it's good.
Cool. So South Boston. So Whitey Bulger just got killed in prison. Being from Southie, did you hear about him growing up? Like, I mean, you were well past that time, but was it still like
because
the
like
legend of
he was around? Like that's what like it's like sooner than like to me growing up. You'd think it's like a million years ago, but it like really wasn't. Like my father was like a young kid into like his teens when he was still around. You know what I mean? Which is like crazy to think
Does your
about.
dad have stories and like will he talk about like? Oh,
I mean, my
remember this
dad.
happened or
My
that
dad
happened?
was way younger than him. He was pretty old. You know, what I mean, my dad's only 55, 56. You know what I mean, my dad's not wicked old. But I mean, everyone had stories. You heard about him all the time. But my dad, he told a story once, like a funny story, where it was just he was like walking home, and he said a car pulled up and like just grabbed him, and they threw him in it. And
Your dad.
yeah, and he said like it was either Whitey Bulger or like one of his guys or something. Someone was in the car, and they were just like, "Oh, that wasn't him." And what coming back to what we're talking about, actually, coincidentally, some kid had thrown a snowball at Whitey's car, and
shit.
some other kid was like, "Oh, it was Fran McNally." And they fucking went and grabbed my dad to see if it was him. That's the story he tells.
Wow.
It could have got twisted and turned over the fucking years, but
So
he's told me that story before.
My uncle has a story. My dad and all my uncles grew up in the Mystic Projects in Somerville, so they would hang out on the benches and drink and just and that was like their place.
Yeah.
And he was probably like 16, whatever. So this car pulls up. It's a nice Cadillac. A lady gets out. She was a waitress. And she lived in the projects. A guy gets out of the driver's side and just like kind of gives them a look. Yeah. And like these are project kids, they're drunk, they're 16, there's 6 of them.
They're gonna say something. Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck are you looking at?
Yeah.
So the guy goes in his trunk, opens it, and pulls out a shotgun and walks over and aims it at them. The waitress is in the doorway and she turns around and she says, "Whitey, put that fucking gun away. They're just kids. Come in here." And he goes back.
So it was him.
Puts it back in the trunk, walks in the house.
Yeah.
It was him, yeah. And they didn't know at that time, like, who he was and what they
Yeah.
But now they realize they weren't too far away from him pulling the trigger on them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, but he was just like a sociopath by all accounts. But he was like a scumbag too. You know what I mean? Like a complete like.
So is there at all a two-sidedness of the way people see him? Of like, is it just he was a bad guy 100%? Or is there kind of like, he gave Southie a rep and he
I don't
was
know.
the toughest.
I think it's easy for like younger people like me to just be like, he was a creep because we never met him. We didn't.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would have been scared of him. I'm sure I wouldn't have said that to him. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like now you hear about like, he was like, they said he like would get with like young girls and stuff. You know what I mean? Just like creepy stuff like that. He was just weird. And I mean, by all accounts, just like an actual sociopath. Like, you know what I mean? Would just
He
kill
was a
anyone.
murderer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I don't know. It's different for us. I think anyone from like like when it came out that he died, my parents were definitely like more interested than I was. You know what I mean? Like, because it's just like they were there. Like that name,
Yeah, it was a
like
big deal
a
to
big
them in
name,
their
and then
life,
like that name like rang out. You know what I mean? So when they heard he died, all of them, like my aunts, everyone, when they were all texting about it with my mother and shit. But like, I didn't really care as much.
Oh, you know what I should have brought you? Up on dirtyoldboston.com, we have the Triple O shirts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Triple
so
O's,
we,
yeah.
You know, the old logo.
Yeah. It's some random bar now.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I think
It's changed. It was some Japanese place for a while. I think
Right.
now it's I forget. It's right across from Broadway Station.
Right.
Those thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, Triple O's. I don't. That was before my time.
So do you feel like the identity of being from Southie has changed at all? Because the neighborhood's changed so much?
I think like now no one believes you when you say you're from Southie.
Right.
Like
You are real. Even when I heard it, I was like, really?
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you're my age. Like,
Yeah.
the funniest is if you meet like old Boston guys, they like instantly are like, yeah, where you really from? It's like the go-to like old guy joke. So that's definitely different. It yeah, no one believes you. But I don't know. I mean, like me and I love that I grew up there. I mean, like we're definitely cocky idiots about the fact that we're from there, but
Yeah. Well,
There's
you
no-
guys definitely had a reputation of like Southie kids with a
yeah, and like, I mean, like playing sports and stuff. We all lived for playing sports. And I mean, like it was just, it was cool. I still love that I'm from there and everything.
Would you get in a lot of fights growing up?
I wasn't like a big fight. I mean, plenty. Yeah, like kids. Me, like not really me, but like people fought. Like, and then kids like a little bit older than me would fight and everything.
Yeah.
Like my friends, we never really we got in fights a couple times with like random Weymouth kids during like high school. But I know I remember like older Southie kids would fight like Charlestown kids growing up and stupid stuff like that.
Yeah. How old were you when you could sort of start like sneaking into some of the bars in Southie?
Dude, we went the first time. I'm pretty sure the first time I was ever in a bar. I might have maybe went to like the Rainbow Dragon once before that, which was like the Chinese restaurant bar. But we went. My buddy Danny had a going away party he was going to the Marines like right after high school, and we went. And I like remember it because my buddy Sully got in with us, and he was fucking like 16 with braces, and he got in with us, and we were all in Murphy's Law, which is just like a dive bar in Southie that's open till 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time. So I think I was probably like 18. I don't think I had an ID, but I eventually had like terrible fake IDs. Like,
You remember the first time you hooked up with a chick?
what, like got laid?
Yeah, let's say the first time you got laid. Was it a girlfriend or?
No, I was like 18. I was a fat virgin for a while. I was late.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you out drinking and you?
No, it was a girl that I had like. It was a girl who like when I was like 16, we like fake dated and we never even like made out. We like dated for like a couple of weeks and then I didn't talk to her again. Then we just randomly like talked quick.
And you just talked and then had sex?
Yeah, I don't know. We were
Something
like
had
texting
to happen in
we were
between
texting
that.
for a little bit. Yeah, but I mean, it was like we knew each other. Like it wasn't like we randomly met.
Oh, okay.
At that point, we had known each other for a couple of years and everything. You know what I mean,
Did you end up dating her at all, or was it just kind of like a quick thing?
No, I don't know. It's like weird to even talk about. I haven't seen the girl in a long time. That's why it's like weird to talk about. But no, we never really dated or anything. We talked for like a little while. We never like hated each other or anything.
Yeah.
I still don't like hate her or anything.
Was she like the one for you? Do you feel like at all?
No. She was
No?
crazy.
Do you have a girlfriend now?
I have a girlfriend now. Yeah.
Okay, so she's definitely not the one.
No,
you
she
should have
never
seen the
was.
look of disgust on his face.
No,
he hated
no.
that other chick.
She's a good looking girl. Honestly, she was, but too good looking for me. But she's crazy.
Okay,
But I don't
This is the old one.
dislike her or anything. Yeah. Oh no, my girlfriend's the best. I've been with my girlfriend like over 3 years now, which is crazy to think about. She's like the first
How'd you meet your girlfriend?
girlfriend I ever had. It's actually pretty funny. This is gonna look staged, but it isn't. So I didn't know I had met her before. She met me at like a house party at my buddy's house where I was completely blackout drunk. I didn't know any of this. So one night, my buddy Matty met us at the bar, the old beer garden in Southie, and he just walked in. We were at like the back corner, and I saw him right at the door. He started talking to these two girls. So we were just being fresh, like blowing kisses at them and like waving to them and stuff. And he came over and he goes, I work with that girl. And he said, right when I walked in, she said, is that your friend McNally? And she said, I fucking hate that kid. And I was like, what? I was like, I don't know this girl. And he was like, that's what she fucking said. And I'm like, because I am like an idiot when I'm drunk. I can be a big asshole, but like, I'm not really like that. And I've been an idiot my whole life, so I'm quick to apologize and everything. I was like, call her over here. And he was like, are you serious? And I was like, call her the fuck over here. And then he brought her over, and I was like, what are you fucking throwing dirt on my name? I was like, I need a chance to redeem myself. And then that night, we like made out for like 2 seconds. I got her phone number, took her on a date the next week.
Nice.
Yeah.
3 years
over
later.
3 years later, yeah.
Wow.
So I guess I didn't know. So she worked with a kid who I just like coincidentally is good friends with.
Yeah.
And I didn't know for like a year. She said anytime he came in and told a story and he'd say my name, she'd be like, I fucking hate that kid. Like she met me once at his house on like a night we got strippers and everyone was just blackout drunk. And
Wait, you got strippers at your buddy's house?
the night she met me that I didn't remember meeting her, yeah.
How old were you?
Oh, no, we were like 20, we were like in the 21, 22.
Oh, this was the going away party for the Marines.
No, that was the first time I went to a bar.
This was just a random night.
We got
you ordered
strippers. Yeah, my buddy Matty, his mother like moved in with her boyfriend when we were like 21. So like him and his two buddies like just paid rent. But
Yeah.
it was like a house in Weymouth. It wasn't like an apartment. It was like a big house, big back. It was like the house he grew up in with
And
his
they would
siblings.
just
So we would
party.
have parties there, yeah. And we got strippers there one night.
How many
and
strippers did you get?
just two, but I was blackout drunk that night. But
Were they
she
hot at all?
was
Do you
there.
remember?
I'm probably not. I don't know.
Scale of 1 to 10s?
It was Shamrock Entertainment. I don't know if any of you guys ever got them. They're pretty good. They'll go anywhere. But
Yeah.
I can't remember what they looked like
Any
that night.
extras?
I don't remember anything, honestly. No, me, no. But that was the night she happened to be at that house party. And I guess she left before the strippers came, but I met her at some point and said something fresh to her. And she hated my guts for a year, but I'm so charming. I'm so charming, I fucking redeemed myself.
There you go.
Yeah. It was just her birthday yesterday.
Wow. What'd you get her?
I got her some tank tops from Nike. She needed tank tops to work out in. It was like the worst thing I had on the list of Christmas ideas. So I was like, I'll just get that for her birthday and then the good stuff for Christmas.
Anytime a gift starts with worst thing, that's usually
Yeah,
a good way to
yeah.
go.
Well, her and my mother have the same birthday. So it's like I get whacked for 2 gifts, 2 dinners right before Christmas.
Yeah. Do you get along with your parents well?
Yeah, I still live there. I pay $50 a week in rent. I'm a complete
you,
bum.
man.
I got the basement. But no, I really do. My mother is like my favorite person in the whole world. She's the funniest person I know. She's like the nicest person I know. And my father's like, we clash because we're similar, but he's a great, great guy. I can't say like a bad thing about him.
Do your parents get along with each other?
Oh yeah, like it's like insane, like how much they still like hang out and make each other laugh and stuff. But they annoy the fuck out of each other. They've been with each other since I don't even know,
Probably high school.
30 years or something. But like yeah, like mid-20s. They both like I think 30 years, something like that. So I mean, they definitely annoy each other, but no, they still get along good, make each other laugh. They do everything together. It's crazy.
So what do you think is going to happen? Do you feel like after you, like what's the South Boston identity going to be?
Yeah, there's not much. My little cousin Owen, he's like 18, 19. Him and his group of friends all grew up in Southie. And there's like, my other little cousin's probably like 15, 16. He's got like a group of friends, but that's really, there's not like the younger, like Pop Warner teams don't have a lot of kids and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because so many people now come to Southie until they
Have kids.
meet a girl and get married and have kids, then they move out.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. So there's just not like, there
You
isn't
feel
kids.
lucky that you grew up there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. I had a very funny, like, good childhood. I mean, I have a group of, like, my group of, like, good friends is, like, 20, 30 kids. You know what I mean? I don't see them all as much anymore, but, like, not a lot of people can say, you know what I mean? Like, my good friends I grew up with is, like, a big fucking group because of that.
Yeah. And when you guys get together, you just sit around and tell stories.
It's just like
that.
mayhem. I'm just as guilty as them, but we're idiots, me and my friends. Like, none of us know how to drink. We all pretty much black out if we drink. Like, that's why,
What
like,
do you drink? You drink beers or you drink?
I'll usually drink vodka soda. I'll start with beers, but I don't know. Beers just make me like tired. I've never been a big beer drinker.
Okay.
But it's not like you would think like there'd be like 1 or 2 people might be blacked out. Like we're all idiots together. It's always been bad. So when we get together, it's just like mayhem. We went to the BC football game a couple weeks ago when they played Clemson, and I'm 28. A couple of my buddies are like 29. I think the youngest, and then 2 younger kids came there. My buddy's younger brother and his friend who were like 26. So none of us are kids. And we're in the stands. We were like the drunkest kids there. We all had like pine snips in our pocket. We were smoking. People were sparking up cigarettes. My buddy sparked up a joint. So I was like, all right, I'm going to smoke, I guess. And then I looked, like one of my buddies was taking a piss in the stands and everything. It was like, we were like making fools of ourselves.
So
and
that
I'm like,
Southie reputation.
yeah. So like, I'm like, what is wrong with us? You know what I mean? Like we're all idiots. We're like the oldest kids in there.
So why do you think, because I feel the same way, it's like you drink so much, you drink excess. One, because it's kind of like, I don't give a fuck. That's what we do.
Yeah.
You're in a group. But do you think at all that it's kind of like, I don't know, there's a security thing about it or an insecurity thing about it? Like,
I don't know, to be honest with you. with me, it's just like, I just like keep drinking, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't know really. Cause I don't drink like.
Like, do you feel like uncomfortable if you first get to a place? For me, like if I get to a bar and I'm like meeting friends or whatever that I don't know, I have to just slam like 2 beers.
It depends. I mean, that's part of the problem is like, we're all like idiots who like just go to the Southie bars and we don't really go anywhere. So it's like, usually I know people, but I don't know. Maybe because if anything, it's probably like I smoke weed usually before I'd go somewhere maybe and then start drinking.
Does that calm you down?
Yeah, I don't know. I smoke probably way too much, so I'm
You
kind of.
smoke every day?
Yeah, mostly.
How do you smoke regular weed or like flowers, or do you smoke like a
No, I usually
vape
smoke
pen?
a bowl like the flowers. Yeah.
Okay. No
Yeah.
vape pens?
I mean, sometimes. Switch
Are
it
they
up.
more expensive, or what's the deal with the vape pens? Because they seem super easy and convenient.
They are
right?
pretty easy. I mean, I don't know.
You're just an old school guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Like my uncle
I get them
only
sometimes.
smoke joints. He won't smoke any other.
Exactly. Yeah, like I smoke bowls usually, but if I've like flown places and brought the vape pen with me before and stuff,
Yeah.
it's a little easier.
You still get high when you smoke, or you just chill?
Yeah. Oh no, I still get high. Yeah, I wouldn't do it if I didn't.
Okay.
I don't get some people that don't do it. But yeah, so we went to that game. So there's like 16-year-olds in the audience horrified of us, and we're smoking weed.
Pissing. What happened to the guy that pissed?
Oh,
Where
it
did
was
he
just like
piss?
insane.
Just like in a corner?
Literally,
or
like just turn around. I mean, the people were kind of leaving because BC was getting killed, but it was still insane. And then
That's pretty heavy.
So
man.
then we're sitting up there, and it's like people are clearing out, and my fucking buddy Pete fell and like rolled down like 6 metal bleachers at, I don't know if you ever been to the BC Football Alumni
Yeah,
Stadium,
yeah.
like rolled down like 6 or 7 rows until he hit this guy in front of his legs, and it like saved his life. I legitimately thought he was dead. He like he rolled like he was going down a hill. So like every like 30, not even 30 seconds, every like 3 seconds you would see his eyes, and he was just like this. And it was like me and 4 of my buddies literally running down the bleachers. I thought he was dead. Like I thought we were going to get there and he was dead.
Fuck.
And he like got up instantly. The next day he admitted that he was out for a second, but he was like, I'm fucking fine. And he just like sat, we were like, well, sit down for a minute. And like we were watching football the next day at his house, and the kid couldn't even he bruised his knee so bad he couldn't even stand up. He had like a bruise on his head and shit. I was like, oh man, it's bad.
Yeah, it's different when you're like 19 and you do that shit.
That's what I mean.
Par for the course.
I could-
Like, ooh, I'm almost
I could hear like right when we got there, instantly one of my buddies sparked up a cigarette, and I'm like, oh, what is going on? And I could hear like young kids behind us, like, are these guys serious? Like, are they really smoking cigarettes over there? And I'm like, we are such losers. Yeah, like, and then like my buddy's like, well, they're smoking cigarettes. He sparks up a joint. I'm like,
Oh, do you have a Southie tattoo?
I actually do, which is pretty stupid.
I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah,
bro.
it's
Is
like
it a
up on my
shamrock?
thigh. No, well, it's
Wait a second. It's on
SB
your
with it. Yeah,
crotch?
no, it's like up here. See, I got it so you can never see it. What am
I
I?
was gonna say, can we see it? But no.
Yeah, can
I
you
mean,
show it to
it's
us?
like right here. I mean, I get.
Well, listen. When we do the still photos, could you do one and show it?
I mean, if you really want, is yeah, it's literally.
I
just
guess
said-
Artie wasn't
it's-
lying when he
no,
said take your clothes off.
we it was like I was probably like 23 or 24. It was my birthday. We went out the night before. A bunch of us. We got drunk, and I woke up, and one of my buddies called me, and I was like still drunk, and he was like, let's drive down to Providence, go to a rub and tug. And that was like what he said. He was like, we'll go for your birthday, and I was like drunk, like yeah.
How old were you?
Probably like I think it was like my 24th or 25th. I wasn't with my girlfriend, so I might have been like 22 or 23. And I was like, yeah, let's go. Like
I
still,
was gonna say, I hope you wouldn't bring your girlfriend
no, that's what I mean. So
before you were together.
yeah, so I was like still drunk. So then he called me back and he was like, actually, you want to get Southie tattoos? Because we'd always joked.
Wait, so the option was to go to a rub and tug or get Southie tattoos?
Well, it wasn't, I mean, we could have done whatever we wanted. It's America. But so we always joked, like I would say, and like I'd get one like right here. You can never see it. Like who cares? You know what I mean? So I was like, fuck it. If you want it, let's go. And then one of my buddies who has no tattoos called me and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, me and Twink's going to go get Southie tattoos.
His name's Twink.
Yeah, he's a big kid. We always called him Twinks.
Isn't there a thing like gay?
Yeah, we didn't know
fairy
that.
boys
We
are
made the
called
nickname in like 6th grade. We found out about Twinks later on. Yeah, the kid was stuck with it. Yeah, like his father calls him it and everything. But so I was like, we're gonna go get Southie tattoos, and then so that was my buddy who has no tattoos, and he's like, you know what? Fuck it. We're all like still drunk from before. He's like, I'm gonna get one. So we're like, yeah, let's go. And then my other buddy who has no tattoos calls me, and he's like, oh, really? And for whatever reason, he was like, he would never get a tattoo, this kid, but his girlfriend, who's like his wife now, was like, you're not going to get one, you pussy. And he was like, fuck you, I'll get one. So he was like, I'll go with you. So we went 4 of us, and we all got like different, some that's Southie related.
Nice. Did you ever end up going to get the hand job?
No,
different
no,
night?
not in Providence, no.
Where'd
I've
you
been to
go?
a rub and tug once or twice.
Where did you go to get one?
I mean, I'm not gonna start snitching places out. I got
you
one.
don't have to say
I got
that.
one in New Orleans. That was like the main one, which I feel like that's justified.
White chick, black chick.
Asian,
Chinese
some sort of
chick?
Asian.
Yeah, they're always Chinese
She had,
braces, right?
she had braces and like terrible, like rock hard fake tits. They were like,
Was she old or young?
she was young, but she didn't look. I don't know. It
You
was.
remember how much it was?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, my buddy hit a lot of the. We went down there for like a weekend for WrestleMania, probably 6-7
This
years
is
ago.
a hell of a weekend.
Yeah, and my buddy at the casino the night before hit a bunch in blackjack, so he was like, "I'm
He took
paying."
everybody for rubbing time.
He took me, yeah, me and
Nice.
him went.
Was
yeah.
it your first time?
No, I had gotten like 1 or 2 around here, but they're pretty awkward.
Was the New Orleans one better than the one here?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Were you nervous? The first time you ever went, were you
Yo,
nervous?
yeah, wicked. It's a very strange thing. It's like
So you go in, do they give you a shower or anything? Or you just like,
yeah, I've been to one place where you lie on like a table type thing, and they like soap you down, scrub you down.
yeah.
Which is actually cool. And then they
Soak
give you
down
like
and scrub you down, and then what?
that place. They put you in like a steam room first. You
Oh,
get a
nice.
nice sweat. It's very
So it's a
relaxing.
proper, like,
oh yeah,
spa
this place is great.
with a hand
Yeah,
job.
this place is great. Yeah, but
So that was in Boston.
the Boston area.
Okay. So then you come out. What do you have, like a robe on or something?
Yeah, this place gives you a robe. Yeah.
And do you know who your chick is? Do you get to pick?
No, it's not like that. That's like the movies.
So you just go in a room.
Yeah, it's honestly it's not that like I don't know if there's such thing as a romantic hand job, but it's like the least romantic hand job like imaginable. You know what I mean? It's like
What's the room look like?
very small with just like a table in the middle, and like literally like you lie down, they give you like a legitimate massage, you roll over, and it's like a 50-year-old lady with like sweatpants and like a polo shirt on, and it's like you finish and like don't even want to look at her. You're just like, ugh. And then like,
Did you finish really fast or?
oh yeah, they use like this crazy oil and stuff. They don't know what they're doing. It's crazy.
They're pros.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're
oh, yeah.
legitimate professionals.
But there's nothing romantic about it.
Yeah.
The second you finish, you regret it.
Okay.
You're like instantly
you went
like, get me
back.
out of here. I want to put my clothes on. Get me out of here.
But you went a few times.
Yeah, I was
So there
young.
like
I was
It
young.
was just a hunger of like, I gotta get off.
We were just trying different places. I don't know. Well, I was like young. It was like getting laid a lot less than I did
Right.
as I got a little older.
Man has needs.
Not that I get laid a ton, but
Right.
I did a lot worse when I was like 18, 19.
But the New Orleans one was probably the best of the group.
Oh yeah, that was the real deal.
Did she let you touch her?
I probably could have like done everything with her if I wanted. I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was too hard to do it.
Did you have to give a tip? Did
Yeah,
they make
you just
pay
throw,
them
like-
the tip first? Or?
You just throw like, I mean, I tip. I'm sure you could get away with not tipping because I think it's like prostitution technically, but
probably not.
yeah, but it's like a pretty
sure they do it
Yeah,
for the
exactly. It's a
tips.
pretty awkward argument. Yeah, I just tip. I've given $40. Just
awkward argument.
yeah, I mean, I just throw $40. There you go.
Oh, that sounds about right.
I think 40 is pretty generous.
Yeah. Well, they shut down
because you pay for the massage up front.
Yeah.
I think 40 is generous.
Well, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, on that note, I think we're gonna wrap it.
All right, that's a way to
man.
go out.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.